Yo, what is good, friends? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another tutorial. I appreciate you tuning in again. And today we are producing a track for STORMZY'S album, This Is What I Mean. Came out last year, but it's definitely a different sound than STORMZY normally does. So this is not going to be a drill tutorial, but rather like a chill Afrobeat elements we have, but like R&B, I would say, in the core with some gospel elements as well. So let me just give you a quick overview of what you can expect from this tutorial and what you can expect from like a STORMZY This Is What I Mean beat. So first off, we're gonna have some keys. They're gonna be very mellow and chill. Drums wise, we will have some Afro beat kind of thing, that UK Afro drill, you know, that Dave does a lot in recent times. We're gonna have kind of that rhythm. Bass wise, we'll have some Trillion real bass, I would say, kind of helping that overall vibe of intimacy and like very near and warm kind of feeling is what we're trying to achieve here. Then we'll have some vocal sample, I would say, that is kind of just like playing a little melody or singing a little melody. And so that is going to be the main elements that we are going to put in this beat today. So we're going to start right off with these keys. Fit pretty well that vibe that I was just, trying to explain before. Just listen for yourself. And so now, first step that we're going to do is we'll add a vocal sample to this that kind of establishes a melody that is kind of reoccurring and that is, maybe a theme of this song, I would say. Okay, so this is the vocal sample. Love it, love it. Okay, so next thing we're going to add is drums. So we're going to start with the kick. I feel like we're going to take a very strong kick for this one, like a modern one. And then we'll add some Afro shakers and hits as I was talking about before. So this is going to be our kick. So definitely going to put one at the start of every beat. Can't go wrong with that. So this is the kick pattern that I came up with. It sounds like... Now we'll add the snare and we'll definitely take a rim for that. That kind of achieves that very intimate sound that we were trying to achieve in this beat. So let me add that real quick. Okay, so rim hits sound like that. And so with these rims, I'm always trying to target, as I said, this is kind of the Afro rhythm, but like in a different vibe. And so I'm targeting those Afro spots for the snare, which is like, if you look at the 16th notes here, is always like the third one, which is this one here, like after the first beat, the third one. And that is number 6, like in between of those two lines. And every snare hit that I put in here is like at one of those spots. And so that gives it that Afro feeling I was talking about. But I definitely want to add another rim to that, since I left out that classic spot here, and it sounds a bit empty yet. And so I was just gonna put that in. So the way I wanted these two snares to work is like that. They kind of complement each other and kind of play with each other, if that makes sense. And so I put this one snare at that classic spot, and so just listen to that. They kind of feel pretty good together, I would say. Yeah, like that a lot. Now we'll add some hi-hats and a shaker. And so the hi-hat I'm using to kind of support the kick here and there. So it gives that, the kick has a different sound, I guess, and it gives that modern touch to it, which I like. And we're just gonna throw it in at some places where there's a lot of silence, and that needs, that the beat is continuous, that there's not a lot going on at some point, and then we have a lot of silence. So we want to have kind of keep that going. And hi-hats is very, the go-to thing to fill up spaces and to make it feel ongoing and continuous, the beat, if that makes sense. Okay, so next thing we'll add is the shaker, as I said, and I'm hearing this. I mean, the sounds is it's like a shaker sound, but I'm hearing this. So like at the start of every beat we have this like, so we're gonna go probably like these two. Yeah, I like that. Gives like a certain bounce to it, and like a feels right, feels right. Yeah, I feel like that's good for the shaker. Next thing we'll do an open hi-hat. The usual, you know, placement of like an open hi-hat is like at the end of the progression, and so I'll definitely take that here. Sounds like this. But we can definitely put that like in more. I feel like the sound fits pretty well to the vibe that we're trying to go for. Maybe directly at the beginning, like somewhere here. Yes, yes, nice, nice, perfect. It's like playing somewhere where there wasn't a sound, but there's supposed to be a sound. It feels like not something needs to be there, and so we're kind of filling up that gap with an open hi-hat. Maybe one more here. Like that. Nice, very good, very good. It sounds great. And this sounds very, you know, verse-like. I would say this is perfect if you have a voice. If you have a verse, since there's like there's some space. Like we have established our rhythm, like the drums that the song is gonna be. But there's definitely some spaces like that we can put stuff in. And so I would say like I'll look for some, you know, Afro shaker loop that we can, you know, drag in, and then we can kind of cut off the hits that we don't want and then we already have, and so we're by that like filling up the gaps, and we'll use that for the chorus since we need a lift. Obviously I've talked about this before, we need a lift in the chorus, and then adding some shakers to make it like more full is definitely a good way to do that and like to achieve more energy in the chorus. And so I'll just look for a shaker loop, and then we'll chop things up. Okay, so this is our shaker loop. Obviously, as you can hear, like there's some kicks in there and there's some snares in there, and you know, that's gonna take me a while, but I'll definitely take out all of the kicks, all of the snares, because obviously we put it in for the shakers, and like and yeah, you just have to chop off the things that you don't want, obviously, and then you're good to go. And so I'll do that, and I'll show you my chopped shaker loop, because that would take too long to like show that one. Okay, so here we are, I chopped it up. As you can see, no kicks anymore. I took out this part where we have a lot of like our own stuff going on, and now it sounds like this. And as you can hear, like there's some stuff that kind of overlaps with what we did, but that's, you know, if you're aware of that and you listen to it and it sounds good, there's no real reason to like take it out. But like mainly you would try to like take sounds that play at a point where there's nothing else going on, right? Okay, so that's the idea. But like obviously, if you know the rules, you can break the rules. But just so you know. So bass-wise, we'll use Trillion. As I said, we're going to use a real bass for this, and I've kind of loaded in this mute bass, which fits pretty well. I think you could also use like a sine sub bass kind of thing, but I didn't find a good sound for that, so we're going to use the R&B, like this Trillion preset, because I feel like this real bass is perfect for this intimate vibe that we're trying to achieve, that warm, like almost like a hug feeling, very, very cozy vibe. And we'll come up with a bass line, and I'll show you when I have it. Okay, bass sounds like this. So as you can hear, I didn't play like crazy. I put in some, you know, high notes and like some fills, like low key, but like in general, we want to like keep it down and be like chill, obviously. But I feel like it sounds pretty good. So next thing I'm adding, I found this background vocals. They fit pretty well. Also like adding, like I keep repeating myself, but if you're trying to achieve a vibe, obviously everything needs to like fit into that mode that you're trying to go to. Like it's obvious, but we're trying to add elements that help us achieve that vibe. And this is like some background vocals. Fits pretty well. Listen to it. Very nice. And also adding to like the gospel aspect of it all, that I was mentioning in the beginning. The only thing that I really don't like about this is like the second thing. I don't think that fits. So I guess we'll take that out, chop that out. And what I want to do here is like, we have background vocals, and obviously we didn't record them ourselves with a singer. So we only have like one take. And so you want to have background vocals spread out. You want to have them, that's what they call background vocals, because they're in the back. And you usually have the main voice in the center, because it's obviously the most important thing in the song, in the center, right in your face. And you have background vocals panned to the left and to the right. And usually we would take like different takes for these background vocals, obviously, but we only have this one take. And so the problem with that, if I just copy that and like pan the one to the left and then the second one to the right, is, I don't know if you're listening on headphones, but like you will hear that you don't really hear that well that it's like panned. And the reason for that is that it's the exact same take. You don't really hear that much of a difference because it's the same take, and like it sounds identical. And so it's almost sounds the same as if it was in the middle, because it's the identical take. And so what we'll do in these cases, we'll just add some delay with, I don't know, like 40 ticks, no fade in, please. Some delay, so it doesn't sound like there's some, you know, difference between the two. Obviously there's no real difference, but it will make it sound like there's a difference, and they're like delayed by a tiny bit. You will hear that when you listen to it, and it doesn't sound identical. And so I always, if you have that and like want to pan like an identical take, definitely put some delay on the second one. I love that part. Nice, very cool, very nice. I think actually I will just arrange this a bit, but like in general, I think we don't want to add more to this, because obviously there's a very chill vibe, and as I said, the intimacy is definitely there. Sounds weird, but yeah, the vibe is there. I love it. I love it. This is what I mean when I say we want a warm sound, and the rhythm is the one that Stormzy uses a lot in this album, and very happy by this, like what we achieved today. So yeah, I'll arrange the song and I'll show you the full arranged version later. Okay, so quickly what I did, we have an intro with the vocal sample and the piano playing. Drums come in, bass comes in without vocal sample. Then I would say like here we add the chorus, like the vocal sample comes back in. I added some background, I don't know if you can hear it, some background noise, I guess, which is always a good thing if you want to take up the chorus for energy. Like there's just something in the background going on, and you don't really hear it, but like you notice, you're kind of feeling it, that there's something more. And especially when it stops playing, you notice that the levels are going down a bit, and so that's like a difference you can make by that. And then I chopped up another shaker loop, and so we have more, shakers and stuff, and I panned them to the right, so you can see it's like more on the side, but like adding some sounds here and there, background vocals, but yeah, I feel like we matched that vibe almost like spot on, I would say. I'm very proud of this, and obviously a big fan of Stormzy and his new album, like different sound than usual. I like both Stormzy vibes, the drill vibe and the R&B gospel shit, definitely. So yeah, I hope you got something out of this. Maybe you're inspired to do your own beats. That would definitely be the goal. If you did, show me by subscribing to the channel or hitting that like button. That would be definitely cool. And also listen to my music. There's original music coming out. I would be very happy if you did. Because obviously I think that is the end goal of every, like, if you're doing music, like you do your own shit and you put it out there, for people to hear it, and it's kind of like also makes you finish shit. And so that's kind of the situation for me. So I'll be definitely very happy if you check that out. Would mean a lot to me. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next tutorial. If you have any artists that you want to see that would interest you, definitely let me know in the comments. I'll check them out, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Ciao.